So, since a lot of people have been asking me which organs I had to sell in order to get to Japan this year, I thought I'd make a video on it. So for those who don't know, I'm finally moving to Japan this July after having pushed my term from October 2021 to January 2022. Now I'm actually going in July of 2022. Hooray! But so I'll be going to Japan on a student visa. That means I'll be studying there at a language school. And throughout this entire process of me trying to get that student visa, my saving grace has been Go Go Nihon. And by the way, this is not sponsored at all. Like, I just really love their services and they're just a great organization, so go check them out. Go Go Nihon is just great for people who have no idea what to do, like me. They offer support in many different languages, so you don't even have to speak English necessarily if you want to apply with them. And they give you all the support you could need with submitting documents, with the visa process, and with also getting in contact with the language school. And they're also partnered with a bunch of different accommodation platforms, so they can help you also find a place to stay. And so if you're looking for a safe way to get to Japan within the next few months and you have some money to spare, some time to spare, and you'd like to maybe go there for half a year as a student, this is how to do it. First up, you head over to Go Go Nihon and contact them. The first thing you'll have to do when you go to Go Go Nihon is to pick the school that you'd like to go to. They offer support for a bunch of different language schools in different areas of Japan. And the first thing I noticed about Go Go Nihon that's really great is that they have some really good explanations and descriptions of the schools that they offer support for. Usually there's some kind of introductory video. There's also the school intensity if you'd like to go to a school that's a bit more light or a bit more difficult. It really depends on your goals, but if you'd like to learn as much Japanese as possible in as little time as possible, then you should probably consider a school with a high intensity. On the same page, they will also show you some features that the school has. And also then, if you scroll a bit down further, they will show you how much it costs to actually study there. Usually language schools offer terms in April, July, October, and January. Some of the schools don't really care which term you begin in, but with others, they have a restriction that only in the April and the October semester you can start learning if you're a total beginner. So once you chose a language school and the term you want to go in, you can then pay your application fee. That is usually around 250 USD, and be careful because if you pay this is not refundable, so you have to then actually be sure that you want to make this decision and go to Japan. After you paid the application fee, the next step is to submit a lot of info and documents. Documents they'll need from you are things like a copy of your passport, the certificate of your highest education, and also a bank account statement. After all, Japan needs to make sure that you have enough money to support yourself during your studies. But don't worry if you don't have enough money in your bank account, you can also ask a family member or a friend to be your financial supporter. And I forgot how much money you need to have in order to be eligible for the student visa, but I will put it here on the screen. So once you filled out all that information and submitted all your documents, the school will probably confirm, hey, yeah, you can come, great. And that was the point where for me, I just had to wait a lot of time. I started to apply for my language studies in Japan a while ago. I think that was probably like 2 years ago at this point, so for me, the process of everything was just a lot of waiting. But for example, if you applied right now in May, you could go to Japan as soon as October. So you can do probably all of what I did in 2 years in less than 5 months. But so things start getting interesting again 2 months before your first day of school. That is when Go Go Nihon and the language school are probably asking you to pay your tuition fee. And that fee can be quite a bit expensive because there's also things like teaching materials and other initial costs that will just be added on top of that. But don't worry, even if you're gonna stay for like 2 years, you only have to pay the first 6 months at first, and then later you can pay the rest of it. After you paid your tuition fee, you are sent a document called a certificate of eligibility. I can just show you mine. So this is my certificate of eligibility. And it's essentially just a document issued by the Japanese government to show you how long you can stay and that you are actually able to go to Japan. And so the real reason why you need that document and why they need to actually send you the original is because you can turn that into a visa. And to do that, you have to take your COE to the local embassy in your country. Your embassy will also then require your passport and some other documents. Just make sure you have everything together and ask your embassy beforehand what they actually need from you because it can differ from country to country. Then it usually takes around 2 to 4 weeks until your visa is fully processed and you can grab it from the embassy. And once all of this administrative stuff is done, you can finally go and buy flights. I personally bought my flights before I got my visa because I like buying them in advance and earlier because it's cheaper. But it's usually not recommended since things can go wrong and you should really make sure that you have the visa when you buy flights. And the last step then is to look for accommodation. As I said earlier, Go Go Nihon offers support with that as well, but you can also just look yourself. Accommodation in Japan for foreigners is a whole other topic that if you want me to, I can make a video about. Just let me know in the comments. Okay, and the last thing that's left is for you to go to Japan and start your studies there. Right now, because of the COVID restrictions, there's also a little bit of an extra step that your language school will take care of. It's called ERFS. But so that is it. That's the entire process of getting to Japan as a language student. And it's actually pretty easy when you break it down like that. And Go Go Nihon, as I said, has been super helpful. And although studying abroad and going to a language school can be very, very difficult and also very expensive, right now it's actually the easiest way of getting to Japan for sure. I really hope this video helped you out, and maybe I'll see some of you in Japan. And if you want to hear me talk more about things that I love about Japan, maybe you should go check out this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Mata ne!